I think this next question borders around education and experience, right? So for someone who probably has like four years education degree, let's say masters in a particular field, let's say data science, for example, or machine learning, right? Compared to someone who has actually had like hands-on experience in that same field, let's say machine learning or AI, whatever, or data science, right? These two people, who would you be more tilted in terms of like?
So basically the age-old education versus experience question. To me, I think experience should always win out. And the reason I say that is because historically, I think those that have formal education has always been kind of given the advantage or given a good look or the better look, and deservedly so. Those with education have always given kind of a benefit of the doubt or a better look than those that have gone through the rigors and obtained their learnings directly through experience. And I think that's a little unfair because if you think about it, they've kind of arrived at the same place
pretty much
to an extent. There has to be something said about the individual that didn't benefit from kind of a formal education structure. You know, having a professor or an advisor or other students that they might have been able to collaborate with. There could have also been circumstances that didn't even allow them to go to college in the first place. So I would really think that someone who has been able to kind of come through the ranks with experience without a formal education deserves just as equal a chance in pursuing a job or a role.
That's very true. Thank you for that insight. Actually, I think actually does depend really. And I mean, education or experience, they are both good, right? So if you can even pursue those, then good, right? Absolutely. Why have one and not have the other? Do you understand? So doing both, it's really good to have, like, as a person, just to make sure that you're very, very, very employable. Hearing about your background, it's clear that you didn't have a technical background in terms of like your degree, right? You didn't study computer science at school, but you had like some sort of like experience in programming, right? Also a question around how that in terms of even having certifications as compared to having like hands-on skill, what would you say, right? I mean, certifications are great. I mean, most companies, I'm not sure, I don't know, but I think it's even good to hear from you. Like, what do you think about like having these certifications, solutions architect certifications, right? A particular cloud provider you want to apply for in terms of like any role. Do you think they play an important role?
I think they do. I don't think certifications are an end-all, meaning you're probably not setting a realistic expectation with yourself if you think that you go out and achieve a certification and that makes you immediately job ready. It helps, but for me, certification always has to be supplemented by some sort of qualification. And what I mean by that is having some level of practical experience to say, hey, I've gone in and I've achieved this level of cert, but now I've got to be able to back it up through some sort of a demonstrated solution. It doesn't even have to be a real world practical business solution that you've done on the job, but it should be somewhat representative of that, because I think that still shows like some level of depth, some willingness and desire to want to go and learn. And I think it gives a potential employer a better understanding that, you know, we feel that this particular individual could come in and serve us well in this role. Okay, so I have like two more questions just regarding the AWS service entirely, right? But my first question would be about your developer advocate, a principal developer advocate at that, right? What would you say? Do you have like any favorite AWS service? Or I've always loved S3.
Why?
Storage has been a big part of my working career. Having the ability to be able to go and restore a system or an application is a really gratifying scenario. Especially, I've worked with companies in the past where, you know, the business has basically been down as a result of a system crash, and for you to have the ability to go and retrieve a backup, we're talking very critical business data, and to be able to perform a restore, to be able to bring systems back online, and basically be able to go and reassure customers out there to say, hey, you know, we had a blip, we apologize, but now we're back in business. To me, that kind of starts with having the ability to have properly stored data, and then having it accessible so that you can go and resume business as normal.
Yeah.
So, and even before cloud, as an AWS employer, yes, there's services like S3 and Elastic Block Storage, and EFS, but I grew up with storage systems in the data center. I had NAS and SAN technologies that I've worked with in the past. So yes, storage has always been kind of near and dear to me.
Okay, so now going back to my channel is like focused on data analytics and everything around data analytics, right? So for those in the data analytics space, what services do you encourage that we should pick up like skills on?
Yeah, well, certainly want to encourage them to know about the storage services, because they're going to have to land their data somewhere. We've got other services like Kinesis Firehose that's going to be able to help collect and store data in real time. As a data analyst, you want to be able to demonstrate your ability to use things like SQL and be able to go and query information. So make sure you know about services like Athena. We've got several database products that could serve well in that space as well too. We've even got some products that provide some level of visualization and reporting as well too. So I think just maybe having a well-rounded awareness of some of those services is going to be helpful. But definitely bring those data and analytic skills that you've learned outside of AWS to the table, because I think those are going to be important as well too. The tooling and the services are only going to be as good as your ability to apply them to whatever sort of data problem you're trying to solve. Yeah, true. And just to add, right, so just like give better context, right? So for your storage, right, S3 is a very good service out there in AWS. Also for visualization, quick sites pretty much, and also like for querying your data, you need to learn and know how to use Athena as well. So very important. So these are a few services you just need to like get accustomed to in the AWS service. So I got to know you from the AWS Community Builder program, right? And it's been like an amazing journey this past 1 year, right? I just clocked. Oh, actually, it's 1 year. Yeah, at least time flies, as they say. Yeah, actually, I would like to ask, right, for someone who wants to join the Builders program, because frankly speaking, being a builder in AWS is really like, it's cool, and aside it just being cool, you even have access to credits to learn a lot about the AWS service. You have access to even taking certification, right, as well too, and also connecting with people like Curtis, right, even like AWS staff as well too, and also builders in the community from different countries. Really good opportunity, professional network. It's a whole lot of good opportunities that avails you if you join the network, the Builders program. So for someone who wants to join, right, speaking from an evangelist or a principal developer advocate, right? What's the advice for someone who wants to join the program? Wow, you almost answered the question with the question, by just describing all the different benefits and opportunities that it provides. Well, first off, I would encourage them to just go and understand a little more about what the Community Builder program is about. I don't want to set any false expectations with anyone without them first understanding why we have the program in the first place and where it could be of benefit to them. If you're the type of person, and I think we might have talked about this a little bit earlier, if you really want to be able to not only just use your knowledge for the benefit of the things that you want to be able to do as far as helping businesses solve problems, but if you want to be able to teach and collaborate and work with others, I think that's where the community program is going to be super helpful. I commend you for the job that you've done up to this point by having your channel, by being able to reach out and talk to those that are aspiring to be in that data and analytics space. I've seen several of your videos. I think it connects well with the audience, so keep doing that, and I certainly hope this one's going to be helpful as well too. But community is just that. If you want to be able to have some impact where you are around the globe, you don't even have to search far. Just start working locally where you are. Find out those or find those audiences that have a hunger for wanting to learn not only cloud, but technology in general.
Right.
And then just start connecting with them. I think once you are able to make some inroads within that, then you position yourself to be very much a good candidate to be able to join the program.
Right. And just like speaking from my own point of view, right, when applying, I mean, I think personally, I would say that being able to provide relevant technical content, right? So it could be as simple as you just learning one new thing in, let's say, cloud service, right? That really resonates with you. And you could just be out there, like writing an article or Medium, or even just sharing on wherever, like probably in YouTube video, I guess, right? But starting out, I would say that ultimately creating content like technical articles literally like paves the way for you. In terms of even coming to the AWS Community Builder program, pretty much, right? And
teach yourself first.
Yeah.
Once you can teach yourself how to use these services and what their benefits are, then go and tell that same story to 2 people. Then go tell that same story to 10 people.
Right.
You continue to do that, and next thing you know, you've got a very captive, very engaged audience, and then you just grow from there.
Yeah. All right. So now, like, to the chilled, relaxed question, I guess. Not so chilled per se, but let's take a deep breath. So we know the current, like how the tech ecosystem is right now, right? And a lot of layoffs going on at the moment, and we pretty much know that it's literally affecting some people, for those even in the tech, and those who also want to break into tech field as well.
Sure.
So for those who want to break into tech field, because that's what my channel literally is about, what is your advice? Like, what would you say? Like, regardless, what do you think about it? And for them who want to even come to the tech space, regardless of the layoff, right?
Again, I like offering perspective more than I do answers to questions like this. So, and this is something that I've actually had to have dealt with in my career before too. There have been periods where, you know, I've struggled to maintain employment, or at least had the potential of layoffs lingering above my head, and it's never a comfortable situation. I mean, that's just the nature of the business, as to speak. One of the things I would suggest is, you know, be true to yourself. And what I mean by that is, you know, if you are affected in some way, you know that these things often come in ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
So continue to pursue a career within this chosen field, because I think you can continue to make it a career.
Yeah.
Know too that other industries are affected in the same way. Yeah. So we talked earlier. I kind of offered perspective earlier too when we were talking about money and salary.
Yeah.
Oftentimes when these tough economic times come, if you've already established a plan to where you can kind of navigate the rough waters when these things happen, put that plan into action. I guess just to give a more practical example, you may have to curtail your spending.
Like financials?
Oh, absolutely.
Manage your finances as well.
Yeah. These are just things that we don't have complete control over. So when the currents are in our favor, make sure that you do everything you can so that you will be able to kind of navigate yourself through rough patches. So
like float and not sink.
Very good example.
Yeah.
Example. You know too that this will pass, and you know, use the opportunity, the downtime, to continue to learn. You certainly want to go and try to seek other opportunities as well too. But one thing I can assure you is if you don't get too discouraged, if you remain positive, I think in the end everything will work out just fine.
That's true. Thank you so much for that perspective.
Thanks
a lot. Another question with this whole tech is with the whole ChatGPT way. What are your thoughts? Wait, hold on. I personally, I sort of like it because I've been in the data analytics space for a while, right? So some extent experience. But for those who are just like breaking into it, we spoke about this extensively yesterday, and I know that you had a very interesting view, which I really also resonate with personally. Yeah. It's there to help you, but to what extent, right? So what are your thoughts about it?
Okay.
For newbies.
GPT stands for what? Generative
Predictive
Translator.
Yeah.
Right. It's basically a way for smart machines to be able to answer human-like questions based on the way that they've learned.
Yeah.
ChatGPT at this current point it's a very interesting technology. It's a very disruptive technology. For those that are interested in what it is, here's what I would recommend. learn the technology aspects about it.
Okay.
Don't get consumed by thinking that this is a way of having machines make you smarter. It just simply won't be that. Okay. What I mean is, let's not allow a service or technology like ChatGPT start learning for us. It's your job to go and learn what makes the technology so disruptive today, as opposed to it providing some perceived advantage of being able to ask it a question, get an answer, and then let that answer be representative of you. It's still a very early technology. It's probably got more issues than it does benefits at this moment. So don't rush in. Understand all of the things related to artificial intelligence and machine learning and learning models that has led to what ChatGPT is today. Try it out. It is fun. It is interesting, but just kind of understand that it comes with boundaries and trade-offs at the moment.
That's true. Actually, that's true. Well, thank you so much, Curtis. You've really provided some really good insights, right? Especially for those who are beginners learning something new. I think one thing you said is don't let ChatGPT learn for you.
Yes.
Actually, I think that's very important and something that we shouldn't mistake. So for example, you're maybe learning a new function in SQL, right? So let's say how to use a case when statement. But because you don't understand the fundamental of how it works, it doesn't make sense just to search the answers. Yes, it's probably good, but you need to understand the reason behind it, right? You need to learn for yourself, which is actually very important, right?
Absolutely.
And like Curtis said, still in its early stage, so there's still a lot of refinement to be done in there, right? As a beginner, I think you should know when to leverage it and when not to, really, just so that you're solid in your understanding of certain concepts, really.
Absolutely. And like I said, I can't stress enough, just make sure you have a little general understanding of just some of the foundations of machine learning before you jump straight into the ChatGPT, because there's a lot of hype around it. And again, until the learning models can be improved, until the technology as a whole becomes more mature, just go in with eyes wide open and make sure you validate anything it's sharing with you.
Okay. And lastly, are you someone who, in terms of in-person meetings and online meetings, what's your preference?
Oh, in person, no question. I'm a very social person. I mean, to me, I think that's just it's naturally human.
For you?
For everyone. Well, okay.
For you, actually.
Right, but the human race was one that communicated directly before technology, before all of these other capabilities came along.
I agree.
And I don't think that could ever be replaced.
I agree.
Quick question for you: have you ever hugged anybody on a?
No, virtually.
Yes.
No, I haven't. Yeah.
I mean, that's a very human feeling, a very human emotion, and technology, as great as it is, will never be able to replace that in us. So
that is true.
Kind of a long way to say that, yes, I'm very much an in-person type of person.
Any way we can connect with you? Do you want to share your social media channels, or how can we share?
So I am available on LinkedIn. Curtis Evans is the profile. We'll be sure and share that with you.
Yeah.
I also have a presence on Twitter. If you remember earlier, I ranked my order of preference as LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. Don't look for me on Instagram. I'm not very visible on Instagram. Okay. So I would say LinkedIn and Twitter are going to be two of the better places to find me.
As a courtesy and a privilege, I want you to sign out on my YouTube channel, so you're the whole
just any kind of way that I want to.
Ensure to share, subscribe, and the whole nice.
Okay.
Thanks so much for watching.
Boy, you got me on the spot here. Hit the like button today.
If you liked what you saw today.
If you like this video. Hit the subscribe button below, and be sure and hit the notification as well too, so that you will be informed when new videos are available.
Nice.
Is that right?
Yes. Thank you so much, Curtis, for joining me. I'm so excited.
It was a pleasure. I really
seated with you is such an honor, and thank you. I look forward to having you more on my channel, and thanks for inspiring as many people also who are looking to into this space of tech, right? Regardless of color, age, gender, and whatsoever.
Absolutely.
It's really an honor to have you. Have a great day, guys. Till next time. Bye.